Pondicherry, where the waves of the Bengal Sea roll out to the shore and crash, where the French tricolour, along with the Indian ethos, still flags the old colonial building's pride. I have come to this picturesque town where the French lived for over 300 years. Yet it embraces all its visitors with warmth, and where love for French art and heritage still endures. I want to walk down these quiet little lanes where the past lives with the present, and make my prayers in these Gothic churches. Say Amen.
Hello there and welcome to the special episode of Bonjour India. If you're wondering why I'm cycling after so many years of my life, looking rather awkward about it, well, that's because I am in the ever so charming town of Pondicherry. The right thing to do here is ride a cycle. But how much does this town really live in its past? Maybe some of those answers can lie in this special photography show that is titled 1910. It takes us back to a century and gives us some answers on whether Pondicherry still lives in its past.
These 100-year-old pictures taken by the French photographer Matthew Micheli depict the significance of India's rendezvous with France. What you see here are photographs illustrating the religious diversity of Pondicherry and the effect of French colonization during the 1900s. Besides, these photographs may also give you an impression of a white French-dominated Pondicherry and a black town with Tamilian influence. But that's where comes the success of this exhibition at Bonjour, India. These pictures highlight an essential part of Indian history, which in turn provides context and key learning for today's generation in terms of the benefits of harmonious living in a multicultural environment.
Well, the French have a very rich and significant opera culture. It's something that we don't have here at all and don't even get to see much of it here in India. So there's an effort to popularize this form of art here. To give you a taste of contemporary French opera, here's a special performance.
Bonjour India has done it again for Delhi. With a 200-member crew and a budget of over 3 crore rupees, this mega-scale opera production, If I Were King, left the audience spellbound. The story is simple yet moving. Zephyrus, a fisherman in Goa, saves a young princess Nemea from drowning in sea and eventually falls in love with her. Through a 3-hour emotional and dramatic topsy-turvy ride, we see the hero wooing the princess, facing challenges, and even becoming a king for a day. That's how the show gets its name, If I Were King.
If I Were King for tonight, it's really this kind of mixture between theater and music, because we have music, of course, and lovely music by Adolphe Adam, French composer of the 19th century, and dialogues between arias, duets, all the big scenes, of course, with the choir.
It's a bit like Bollywood, in the sense it has music combined with drama and dancing.
With dialogue sung to music along with vibrant theatrical performances over a backdrop of large colorful sets, the extravaganza took the audiences on an emotional roller coaster and adventurous ride to a fantasy world. The audience seemed to lap it all up, and this is perhaps one more feather to the cap of Bonjour India. India getting a taste of French opera and wanting more.
Well, let's not mistake Pondicherry to be a window to just French culture. It has very strong Tamil influences as well. Similar to this courtyard that I'm sitting in, which is a combination of architectural design from both places. Now one gets to see a mix of cultures in French music as well. For instance, African music is pretty prominent. Here's a performance by Dobe Nyore.
Before heading to Dobe Nyauhe's performance at Bonjour India, I decided to do a little survey on India's appetite in world music. I went to music stores, tried locating some world music CDs, spoke to various people, and all I could get was this.
Exactly, I just like English and Hindi songs, but world music I don't know much about it.
English songs is the most we can say it's world music. But beyond that, there's other cultures that they have their own songs that I'm not aware of.
Looks like many music lovers in India are yet to get a taste of some good world music. So thank you, Bonjour India, that you got us Dobe Nyauhe to perform live in several Indian cities. Dobe's performance might scale India's interest in world music a notch. With 2 music albums, Ananejo and Na Afriki, already in stores, this 24-year-old singer from West Africa's Ivory Coast is quite a name in world music. She mixes different genres like mandolin melodies, rumba and jazz in her songs. And on stage, her energy is electrifying. She dances, sings and even plays the conga.
It's very difficult for play, and I have tabla in my home, and j'essaie de jouer, mais bon, ça marche pas, c'est difficile.
With tabla in her palette, we could definitely see some Dobe CDs in our music stores pretty soon. But till then, we may very well just have to do with performances such as these.
In her songs, Dobe Nyore also talks about seeking help from the divine. Talking about God, this is one of the most magnificent structures in Pondicherry. It's a Sacred Heart Church that was built in 1909 by the French for the local Tamilians at that time. Guess it's time for me also to say my prayers. Catch you after the break. Welcome back to the special episode of Bonjour India. Yes, we're still in Pondicherry, and how could we stay away from this magnificent sea, from the magnificent beach here? Now, to get a taste of authentic French cuisine in India, Pondicherry is, yes, the best place. But Chef Avinash has been kind enough to fix us a special dish on this wonderful day. But what he's going to do is going to mix it up with a local flavor as well. So, Chef, tell us, what are we going to be making this wonderful morning?
Ma'am, this wonderful morning, we'll be making a fresh catch of the sea of the day. The lobster.
Wow, this morning's catch.
Yeah, this is morning catch.
Great. So let's start right away.
Cutting some vegetables for lobster. I'll be using peppers, zucchini, eggplant.
Okay.
It's nothing great, but we have to just slice them one slice each.
What do we do next?
So we'll cut this lobster into 2. We'll clean it. We'll cook the tail part because lots of meats and lots of flavors are there here. We are going to use a white wine, salt, pepper.
Yeah. This is some ground pepper that we're going to put in this.
As per taste.
As per taste, okay. Fresh garlic, we're going to add some salt to taste. Fresh parsley into the lobster. And some olive oil now?
Olive oil.
Okay. Chef Avinash is getting the vegetables ready on the grill. I'm just marinating the lobster with the ingredients we've just mixed together. Well, there's still some time for the meal to be prepared. Why don't you instead go ahead and watch this report on the global challenges that India and France face and local governance. And they're trying to work out a solution in that regard.
One of the highlights of the Bonjour India festival is a series of dialogues and debates organized on key issues that concern India and France. The capital was host to one such dialogue between scholars and intellectuals from both the countries, discussing the global challenges in the 21st century.
Despite the fact that there were a lot of Protestants, as France was a Catholic country, for one reason.
French counterpart Patrick Weil, Senior Research Fellow at Center for Social History, University of Paris, considered cultural diversity, equality, and the feeling of a shared future crucial to any nation's progress.
David Miller, who has studied nationality and national identity, has mentioned 3 or 4 different factors.
I think we should represent that.
Echoing his thoughts was Dipankar Gupta, a renowned social analyst who believes that the issue of cultural diversity was best answered in liberal democracies focused on equality of the individual. While he cautioned on over-enthusiasm about globalization, he also saw an opportunity for better standards of living only when states were sensitive to the needs of the people. The two-day event also witnessed some critical and important issues being discussed upon. Social exclusion through inclusive policies, ethics and material progress in the era of globalization, Muslim minorities in India and Europe. Mayors, politicians and think tanks from both countries came together to discuss, analyze and exchange ideas on sustainable development and local governance.
With reform agenda.
Oh, you guys are back. Well, doesn't that give you some hope? I think it's a great idea to share information with the French and local governments. But let's see how far we've reached in this deal. So, what are we doing right now, Chef? We're preparing a sauce for the lobster?
Yes.
Okay.
We are making a warm salsa actually for the lobster.
Okay.
Lobster is almost done.
Okay.
What we'll do, we'll make a warm salsa quickly for this. Just put it on the lobster.
Okay, we're just putting some salsa sauce over the lobster. And just look at this lobster. It just looks incredible, set in a natural coconut shell. Yes. I'm going to take a quick bite of this and tell you guys how it tastes. This is so beautiful, Chef Avinash.
Thank you.
No wonder I'm a seafood freak. This is absolutely fantastic. With that, we're headed for a quick break.